Hey, you guys, welcome to another episode of Rewiring Minds. Today, I actually wanted to talk about shame. Many of you don't even realize you are holding onto shame. And shame is the lowest frequency on the frequency chart. What does that mean? If you consider yourself as a radio signal, okay, and all our emotions have a frequency. So now if I tune into over here in Canada, we have 104.5 in Toronto, and it's called Chum FM. If I tune into 104.5, I get Chum FM. I don't get Kiss 92. I don't get the other channels. I get Chum FM. Similarly, we carry a frequency. Each of our emotions carry a frequency. So when you tune into shame, it's one of the lowest frequency. And the problem with the frequency is now you're attracting towards yourself more incidents, more events, more thoughts that creates more shame. And that's why many of you are stuck in that shame cycle as well. And now if you're going into the science of things, within your own body, what that is doing, the shame is putting you into fight and flight. There's something wrong with you. You're not in a place of growth. You're in a place where you're going to stunt not your physical growth, your emotional growth, your personal growth. You're going to stunt it. So here's my invitation to you. What is it that you feel so shameful about? My invitation is that you start to talk about it. Because when you start to talk about it, you own it. You see, in my culture, divorce was such a shameful thing. When I told someone, oh yeah, I went through a divorce, I got a divorce, the first thing they say is, I'm so sorry that happened to you. But the reality is, I used to think in my head, why are they sorry? It's the best thing that happened to me, right? But the culture is programmed in such a way where it's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, it must be so hard for you, right? And there are so many things in your life. In my case, I'm talking about the divorce. But what were some of the other things that happened to you where there's a little pity party or something where you think, hey, now I'm broken, now I'm a failure, right? Maybe it is a divorce in your case, or maybe it was some kind of abuse in your childhood, or maybe it was something that you failed at. Are you carrying the shame of it? Or maybe it's a behavior of yours that you think, oh, that's so shameful. Whatever it is time you started to own it. So one of the things that I learned in my healing journey was to own the very thing that you give away power to. So let's say if I hadn't owned my divorce, right? It would be something that would literally drain my energy. It would be something I don't want to talk about. It would be something that I want to suppress. It would be something where I thought, oh, I'm a failure because I got a divorce, right? But instead, what I learned is to own it. If I am going through a divorce, if the way I see it is, if God's putting me through a situation, it's because I get to come out of that situation more powerful and empower others with it. So not only did I just not talk about divorce on social media, I created a book and went on national TV and talked about my divorce, national TV, because I wanted to take the shame out of the divorce. I wanted to take the pity party that happens in our heads, or happens in our society, around something that they think is such a poor you situation. And if you're getting caught up in this poor you situation, or thinking you're broken in some way, or thinking that you're a failure in some way, I really want you to think about it. How can I own it? First of all, the journey begins with you. You got to own it. You got to own that shame that society sees as a shame. You got to own it and realize it's not a shameful thing. It is a gift to me. Because every incident that happened in your life, it's up to you to see it as a gift or to see it as a curse. There's only one person who holds the power to shift the situation into something where you can look back and say, yeah, that was a gift. Or to look back and say, oh, that was my curse. Guess what? It's nothing external. It is not an external energy that dictates if you're cursed or if you're gifted with something. It is you that gets to decide and choose, am I going to transform this into a gift or a curse in my life? Something to think about. Thank you for watching.